El Paso elsewhere wears its various influences on its very long sleeves as a badge of honor. There's a very specific comparison that could easily be made to describe the mechanics. However, I don't want to, as it feels like a disservice to the pure brilliance of El Paso elsewhere, even if that comparison is inevitable. Releasing in such a busy part of the year for high-profile AAA releases, El Paso elsewhere is a game that's probably gone under many people's radar, and if people simply took a gander at its visuals, they might not pick it up. A criminal disservice in my opinion. As for what it is, it's an action-packed third-person shooter with a bullet-time dodge mechanic. It's a love story too. It plays like a cosmic horror game if a certain other video game protagonist went down a surreal drug-induced elevator ride into the depths of hell. It's completely brilliant and one of the best narrative-driven action shooters I've played in years. Not a statement I make lightly. James Savage had a good thing going. He'd found love. It didn't matter that he was a vampire hunter, or that she was a vampire. It just worked, until it went wrong. Now she's trying to get back something she's lost, and reality is taking the hit. So James has to head deep into the bowels of a seedy 3-story motel, which has suddenly added on a couple dozen floors, to kill the only thing that made him feel special. El Paso elsewhere is riddled with 90s cool, the kind decked out in long black trench coats and wielding dual pistols, the glorification of anti-heroes who are the last line of defense between you and what lurks in the dark beyond. It's also one of the most messed up breakups in history, because your ex wants to destroy the world, and you've got to put her down for it, all the while dredging up some of that wholesome emotional baggage. Like I said, it's a love story, and it's going to end bloody. James chronicles his downward spiral into cordite and blood with a wondrous internal monologue, putting the neo into the noir as he brings us up to speed, all the while measuring his own failings and involvement in the pending end of the world. The writing is absurdly fantastic, taking up the cause from plenty of noir movies and comics to tell a story with a distinctive grizzled voice. Plenty of cutscenes between levels add gravitas to the situation, while James spins his own observations during gameplay, sometimes rapping along to the music while blowing holes in everything that moves. The world building is handled through James' narration, coupled with delightfully wonderful radio ads, dramas and podcasts scattered across the hellscape. Whether James is trading words with a cosmic entity toying with him, or choking up every time he comes face to face with his ex, the writing is far away El Paso elsewhere's most powerful weapon. This quality writing is backed up by some phenomenal voice work from everyone involved. It's full of nuance during emotional moments, and is easily the best vocal performance I've heard this year. Not to be outdone by the cast is the game's soundtrack, a collection of hip-hop and rock, a thing of beauty that I could play on repeat, even without the stellar action needed to sell it. Talking of action, it's wondrously fun and responsive, even if its mechanics aren't complicated. You've got a bullet time ability that you can manually activate or automatically activate when you dive in any direction. There's a dodge roll, a melee hit, and guns. Lots of guns. Well, okay, maybe not that many guns, but certainly a lot of bullets. The arsenal is rather traditional and small, but each weapon works a treat and combat feels meaty, with each gun packing a suitable kick. Level objectives are kept simple, while successive levels grow in size and maze-like complexity. The main objective in most levels is to rescue hostages and make it to the exit. Sometimes it's just about killing everything to unlock the exit, and occasionally you'll have to face off against a boss. Enemy AI is incredibly simplistic, but that doesn't make them any less dangerous. Once they know you're around, they pretty much rush at you, leaving some intense moments of dive rolling and precision aiming, while making sure to keep your surroundings in mind at all times. Headshots, it seems, are your best friend, but if they get too close, a good old stake to the body will do them in too. You can dive through windows, over ledges, through doorways and backwards, all in glorious slow motion while making sure every bullet counts. The game's difficulty is proportional to the number of enemies being chucked at you, coupled with a tight level design that favours narrow corridors, small rooms, and only the occasional arena. Bullet time will save your butt plenty of times, but it also needs to be recharged through killing, and there's some slight nuance to pay attention to, such as how much more of the bar depletes if you reload while using the ability. Now all this stylish carnage is enhanced by a visual identity rooted in the low-poly PS1 style design, both for the character models and the environment. It suits the game to a T. There's a wonderful surrealism to the visuals and level design that only gets weirder the further down the elevator hole you go. Environments mash up into nightmarish designs as meat lockers, hotel rooms, and void space coexist, bathed in garish neon-suffused lighting. Some may want to pass on this simply because of how it looks, but El Paso Elsewhere's style is surreally elegant. Wrapping up, El Paso Elsewhere gives its own flavour to trusted game mechanics, turning a simple and stylish shooter into a delightfully weird, brilliantly written and impeccably voiced piece of gaming heaven. This is something incredibly special that you don't want to miss out on. If you've got this far, please consider giving the video a like and maybe subscribing to our channel as it helps us grow.